Students, wishing you a wonderful day today. Today, we are going to do a very beautiful, mesmerizing poem, A Thing of Beauty from your textbook Flamingo by my favorite poet, John Keats. Before we start reading, analyzing, and understanding the poem, let's try to know about the poet and the background of the poem first. John Keats was born in London in the year 1795 and died in Rome in 1821 at the young age of 25 due to illness. He was a romantic poet and his poetry is characterized by sensual imagery in his most popular work, which is a series of odes, a lyrical poem which is meant for a particular subject. Today's poems are one of the most sought after creations in English literature. This poetry is an excerpt from his poem Endymion, a poetic romance written in 1818, considered to be an epic poem. Background of the poem based on Greek mythology about a shepherd named Endymion, his quest for his love Diana, and how in his quest he falls in love with an earthly maiden who later turns out to be Diana herself. Let's read out this beautiful poem together. A thing of beauty is joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep, full of sweet dreams, health, and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despotents, of inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all unhealthy, over-darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. From our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees, and young, sprouting a shady boon. From simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mild forest brake, rich with sprinkling of fair musk roses, blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heaven spring. After reading this wonderful, soul touching, soothing poem, let's go for the explanation. First, we will go for the line wise explanation. In next video, we will be discussing poetic devices. So, let's do it. A thing of beauty is joy forever. It loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. The poet says that beauty is eternal. It is forever. It never fades away, but instead our love for it enhances with the passage of time, but will keep a bower quiet for us and sleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. A student's bower here means a shady part of a tree. Beauty acts like soothing, relaxing shade of trees, which helps all the creatures to sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? Here, he says that at every moment our desire to live further is because we encircle ourselves with our love towards these beautiful things. As we get wrapped up in beautiful flowery band, we get a reason to live further. Now, students, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble creatures, of gloomy days, of all unhealthy, over-darkened ways made for our searching. So, students, what poet is trying to say here is without beauty, The earth is full of gloom and sadness. Despondence means sadness, gloom, you know, darkness. There is cruelty all around and lack of good natured people. He talks about not having really good people around, and then the gap, that void, is fulfilled by the beauty of nature in different forms. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. It is beauty, the creation of God, which removes the sadness and darkness from our mind and soul, which takes away this darkness, the burden of this darkness from our soul and mind. Such the moon, sun, Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. The poet names some of the things whose beauty is eternal: the sun, the moon, greenly like trees, whose shade is a boon for creatures like sheep to rest under it. And such are daffodils, with green wool they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make 'gainst the hot season. Various flowers like daffodils make the earth so green and lively, and rivers full of green waters cool everyone in the summers. Now, students, the mid forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Those thick green bushes of forest fern, where beautiful, fragrant musk rose bloom, is such a sight of beauty. And such too is the grandeur of dooms who have imagined for the mighty dead all the lovely tales that we have heard or read. Now, poet is moving towards the other aspect of beauty. Other than these beautiful things of nature, the poet says the stories of brave men who sacrificed their lives for their compatriots are also beautiful. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens bring. All these beautiful things are like nectar for us, God's gift to us, which helps us to live further on earth.